We're back with the Purse Chronicles. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm your host, Julie Lee, along with my other host,
Gian.
Julie.
And it's V.
What are we talking about this week? What are we pulling out of our purses? So we are pulling out of our purses a very interesting topic this week that came up during our conference call as we were preparing for our show. And the four of us were on the phone one evening, and we were all in our home habitats dealing with different things that we deal with in our homes, right?
Yes.
And so Gian walked into a house of chaos.
Yes, I did.
And she was a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit late for our call. And
Yes.
Julie and V and I were on the call, and poor Gian had to call back in, and it was about 10 minutes worth of chaos for us all to get back in on the call and get together. And as we research and prepare our topics, we like to do a conference call before all of that. And V just said something that really ignited the topic for this episode, which was
Silence.
the silence.
Yes.
And it really struck a chord with me. And I thought, what a great topic for us to discuss for this episode, because the silence can mean so many different things to each of us. I think Gian was looking for the silence that night.
Begging.
She was begging for the silence.
Every night.
And, some of us are dealing with the silence of an empty house.
Yes.
And
V.
empty nesters,
Yes.
as V might be dealing with. And I'm looking for the silence sometimes. So let's kind of talk about what the silence means to each of us.
Okay, well, I'll start. So that night was, typical but not typical. So, I'm divorced, and I have two small children, and they're 5 years old. And then I run corporations that have hundreds of employees by myself. So some days, most days, I come home, and the time finishing my day, putting the kids down, getting them together, getting myself together, I'm just done. And I just need peace.
No silence. There's no silence.
There's never any silence for me. And so sometimes I just need my alone time just to regroup, just to think, just to be at peace, just to figure out what happened before I just pass out.
Right.
And so I didn't realize, how important that was until my life just got so overwhelmed that I'm like, if I don't stop, if I don't slow down, if I don't find a balance. And so I know I want to talk about one day in depth is work-life balance. If I don't find a balance, I'm not going to make it, because so many women have so much on their plate. And some of us need to take time to have the silence so that we can just function the next day, right? That we can just be normal,
Yes.
and that we could just figure it out. Because if you don't even take some time, it's not sustainable.
Right.
Well, that's positive, helpful, soul nurturing silence. And then there's that deafening silence when when you're alone. And I'm also a divorced mother with two small children, 6 and 8. And when they're around, I crave the silence. And when they're asleep, I usually pass out next to them.
Right.
But then there's the silence of coming home to an empty house by yourself. And you have a lot of employees. I'm a sole proprietor. And sometimes the weight of everything that's happening with the client, with my business.
Yes.
And you look around and there's not anyone else in the house to share it with. And the weight of the responsibilities, and you're just sitting there alone, and there's no one else. And for being a very social person, I have, again, silence that can be deafening because it's so profound.
Wow.
So, yes, I brought up the term silence while we were on the phone because the silence. And I'll tell you, I've been running this company for 18 years. However, I've been in management. I worked for the legislature since I was age 22. So I've always been in leadership, traveling the country, and I passed all 4 parts of the CPA exam in one sitting. And at that time, only 4% of the country did that. So I've always been that person, like, and moving, and then I can do it, and then, and I'll put the kids here, and then, I'll tell my ex-husband now, go do that, or whatever the case may be. And I had no silence. And I was the mom that would stay up, and Alexia's going to have the best project. Whatever it was, I have to go to the store and get it and do it, and I have Oscar up doing it with me or whatever. And I didn't even think about silence. I didn't think about peace, because when I would go in my room, I was alone. Hence, I'm divorced now. I mean, it's crazy. I was alone. And so I did not have that person to bounce things off of, whatever, although I was married. So, but I'm a person, I'm internal. I am. I deal with everything myself. However, once my son left, I'm around, I play tennis, so I'm around a lot of different women, and women are a little older than me. And they would go through these things, and they say, well, you're going to find out if y'all really like each other. And my normal response, and anybody listening would say, yeah, because this is all I would say. Oh, he's my best friend. We've been together since high school. Blah, da, 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 da. I sold that to myself. It's the best. Everybody believed it. So guess what happens when Christian leaves? I get this pit in my stomach. Like, literally. Like, I'm watching him drive, and I'm like, and then we're alone. No. And guess what? It's silent. And so eventually we get divorced. Like, I'm recently divorced, like about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And so now, but I've been separated for about a year, and I'm telling you, and they will also tell me this, my friends, oh, I'm selling this house. I would always say, oh, I built this house. I'm never selling this house. You out of your mind. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm like standing in the middle of the foyer like, this is too much house. Because
silence.
It's too silent. I can't even hear an echo.
Closing in on you.
Closing in on me.
Giant house.
So let me just tell you, that silence is really sickening. Because I don't have the crazy house. I don't have the friends coming over, my kids' friends. I don't have cleaning up by the pool. I don't have any of that. And that's why I told the two of you on the phone, would y'all do me a favor?
Hug the baby.
Go hug and kiss those babies for me and enjoy every minute of this chaos, because it will go away and it will be silent.
I think it's interesting how the 4 of us are at different stages in our lives. And as the only married woman sitting in this room,
it doesn't have children.
It doesn't have children. I have
there.
3 organizations instead of 3 babies,
right.
But it's a different silence that I look for. It's a silence of, and I touched on it in one of our previous episodes about how do I take the me time, and how do I find some silence for me. And Julie and I were on the phone the same week, and she's trying to put him to bed, and they're trying to do homework, and the chaos and the screaming and the go sit with your sister and do the homework and put on Netflix.
I said it very lovingly.
You
I gave
did,
them
honey,
wooden blocks to play with. And you should go learn science. Here's some organic, fresh cut fruit.
But now for me, it's a silence that I enjoy with my partner and with my husband, and that I try to find some silence for myself to kind of self-care. And it's all different for each of us because I think, V, you're at almost an empty nest place in your life. And
what
these
you mean,
two,
almost?
well, you
that
are.
Nest is empty.
You are. And these two are still in the middle of it and raising their kids in the chaos
by
yourselves as single moms, in the madness, in all of that. And here I am juggling.
I have to insert. I super co-parent.
Oh,
you
yeah,
do.
see,
Girl,
that's
you
different.
have
That's cool.
I have a lot of help from their father.
an unbelievable
And it
situation.
really is like a 60-40, only because like that's just how it's fine.
Right.
Although lately my 6-year-old's been wanting to stay with me more and more, and their dad's like, whatever, it's it's no big deal.
Right.
So I actually wound up having a child in my house at least 5 or 6 days a week, just because the little one's like, can I just hang out with mommy? And he's
Yeah,
like, hey,
right.
it's easier with one.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Right.
But the difference is that when I am alone and when he is alone, we are the only parent. So
Yeah.
I am and I want to distinct because Gion's experience is different than mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't have the kids. And there's times where I get to have free time and hang out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's just different. But when it's just me at the house, there's
But
no one else.
you know that your kids are coming back and the chaos is coming back. It's coming back. Like when Christian tells me,
Like he's growing. It's different. And I think also when we talked about silence, I also don't want to discount.
Why are you crying?
Because he's
Why are you
he's
crying?
grown.
when
he's
he
not little
tells me
bitty.
he's coming home, it's like the best day.
Aww.
So, and my daughter's like getting her she's becoming a paramedic, so she's doing clinicals around the clock and whatever, and she's going to be applying to medical school. So she's like on a whole nother wavelength. She lives on the West Bank. But to know that I don't have the silence, that I get to have something else is really cool.
It's a journey. We all go through our journeys.
I know. So
I kind of crave what Julie talks
She
about.
craves the silence.
I was going to say the rejuvenating silence.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what I have not been doing a great job of, which is the rejuvenating and the soul fulfilling.
Gian does. She tells me, you
Well,
told
that's
me.
why I was so shocked on a Sunday night that she was so beside herself. Because this is the one who preaches
that's
about self-care on a
That's right.
Sunday, okay?
And she also stretch, and I've been starting to do that. You told me you stretch every
I
night.
You stretch your body.
I do.
My good friend does that
I
in the
do.
morning.
And so I love that this conversation because I had to make myself do the silence.
Tell me when you do it. When
And
you get it in.
and so because I didn't know how to balance, it was just not sustainable. And so unlike your situation, I have my children probably 90% of the time. So 90%. So I have the twins. I'm literally I never stop working. Like I have to shut off my phone. But like I am not responding to the emails. So I don't stop working. I have a beyond active social life. Right. I'm involved in so many charities. So much in the community. And then I have the twins, which is number one. So I don't miss anything for them. So trying to balance that is hard for one person.
Yeah.
So I am a single mother by myself with the kids. I am the only owner of my corporation that has hundreds of employees. And then I still have to make time for me, just for fun.
Yeah. Right.
But then you got to make time for me.
Yes.
Right.
So that's when I had to say, okay, you know what? If I keep giving to all these three things, there will be no Gian.
That's right.
And so I had to take time and say, who am I? Because for so many years, I didn't even know who I was. Like we talk about it, I think I was like living for everyone else. Like I was like the projection of what society said I was. And I was like, time out. I need the silence because if I don't figure out who I am, this is not going to be sustainable because you will keep going and feeding into the giant of like, and people pleasing and like being setting that expectation of what other people think you are as wife and mother. As
that you were afraid of the silence, that you did not want to be alone with your own thoughts.
I guess I mean I think before I was married I used to not like, I was like, oh my God, all I want in my life is like the family.
Right.
And then you get the family, but like we can have another topic it's like, make sure you choose the right family. Right? Like, I mean, my kids, I would never ever replace, but at the same time, I think I went into social norms and got married. And then the silence.
I would do it all over again because I got my kids.
And I have my kids.
Yeah,
and I love
but you
them.
never know.
So
I
I got married not to the right person, and then now I have my children, and so I have my family, and so now I forgot what the silence felt like when I didn't like it.
So
I don't even, I can go back to a little bit before I didn't like it, but now I'm so overwhelmed. I'm like,
that's a good
if
point.
you give me just some silence, I don't care if I don't like it. I just want no one. I like take the phones and put in the other room. Like I leave them in the car because I don't even think they're in the house, like just to get myself together
When
again.
you made the statement that you found that silence because you were going and going and going and going and going, I never found it.
Yeah.
So I lost me.
Yes.
I did not exist.
Yes.
So, and you say, it's my season now. Julie tells me that all the time. You say it's your season. It's time for you, V. And I'm really figuring me out.
She doesn't know.
I
She
don't
doesn't
know. I was wrapped up in, listen, let me tell you something. And I'm not making any excuses for this. It was the best damn businesswoman you ever going to meet. And if I wasn't, I tried to be the best one.
That's right.
I was the best mom ever. I was the best wife. I was the best daughter. I was the best sister. And I went into being the best for whoever, being there for you, being the best friend. When I tell you I was the therapist for all my hundreds of employees, I was there. That's why they were like, she doesn't cry. I was just on autopilot for years.
Yeah.
Not a year, for years. I took a nonprofit in 2.5 years and took it out of $500,000 worth of debt without any new money.
Wow.
So that's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of 24 hours. So for me, and then I went years with that. And on top of that, I built a house. That's a whole nother animal. And so then Christian leaves. And I'm like, what just happened? Where's everybody? Wait, what? I got the company to run wonderfully with my assistant directors, and that's what I worked for, right? So I don't have to be there all the time or do this, that, and the other. So that's running great. I got the kids off in school. That's running great. Now I'm divorced. That's great. And so now what?
Right.
Who am I?
And now that's now you can figure that out.
I do.
So
And
many
that's when
people,
I say I'm living my
so many
best life.
people
I'm figuring it out.
never figure it out. Like they leave
Yeah.
they leave our existence and don't know anything about
And
themselves.
that's a good point.
That's a great point.
Is to be thankful
Right.
that you have the opportunity
Yes.
to figure it out.
Yes.
Yep. And as we mentioned in previous episode, I have a great supporting cast. I have great colleagues, friends, including the three of you, that give me something. It's or make sure I'm okay, or is it? How did it go? Were you went out? Are you safe? Oh,
Yes.
just
Yes.
that. And so we built that through networking. So networking did not just catapult the business.
And now we text all day long.
That's right. We don't go a day without
And B and I
texting. We
sometimes
don't.
cannot
We
respond back
don't.
to 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I see y'all text ladies, but I can't give y'all anything right now. I can't give y'all anything at this moment. I cannot.
IGR did one up
I
on
know
me.
when you're on because it's
When we got here today, you did one up on me. You say, "Oh no, that was in the test. You didn't see the And you're more like normally. I don't read.
Julie might
try
be
to
like, do your homework, but I'm texting back. Damn it.
But Julie has to text me privately to say response.
respond your availability.
Yes.
So I have started to wake up very early, and I almost joke like, am I waking up early, or am I
It
stopping?
was
sleep?
5:30 this morning. I saw a post from you. I just happened to be up, by the way.
Did you text me after? There was one
I didn't
morning.
text you, but I saw something at 5:30. I'm like,
I was up
Lord.
probably around 4:45 because that's when I can get my silence in.
there
Yeah,
you go.
nice.
There you
That's
go.
getting
There
the
you
silence
go.
in. Although my guinea pigs apparently don't sleep because I wandered in the living room and they're up on their little peegloo like, like, well, go back
But
to bed.
that's their time with you, without the kids.
So I got guinea pig time now. I can go hide in my dining room away from no living
That's
being.
right,
Yeah.
right. I know, right?
And I get my blanket and it's dark in the house and I drink my tea, I'll get my coffee. And I've really been doing a lot of journaling and manifesting.
Oh, wow. You know what I'm looking for? Okay, so when I was going through all the craziness, all my friends, and I played tennis on top of this, loved tennis, was so competitive, played singles, wanted to be the best at everything. Okay, but anyway, so my friends in my neighborhood had book clubs. I was like, I don't have time for that. I cannot sit down and read a book. If I'm reading anything, I'm reading about the laws. I'm reading about whatever's happening right now, current events. I'm a CNN junkie. I'm like, blah, blah. Okay. So now I'm like, I need a book. I need to be in a book club or something. But I'm read because I love to read. So now I'm like, what do I like to do? Just me. You know, I love to cook, but who am I cook for? I can send it to y'all.
Yes,
Well, send it to me.
We like to eat. We like to eat.
That's right.
Yes.
And so what I want to say is, if you don't take time, life will make time for you,
Yeah.
and you don't want that. You don't see. I tell people, you don't want life to cut your grass, because it's like the city cutting your grass. It's not going to use.
I
The city going to come in there with that tractor, okay, and some of that grass, and
the hand mower that's
the
like
hand.
that.
Yes.
So it will.
That's what struck me so strangely Sunday night when we were on the phone. This is not jihad. This is like not. She goes, who walks in the van on a Sunday night? I'm like, oh, Miss Self Care Sunday.
But it
was life.
It brings
It
me
hits you
back.
in the
It
face,
hits,
right?
it hits me in the face,
That's
and
good.
it makes me realize, and it was all self-created. You know, all the stuff. Because all that stuff. But the twins had birthday parties. But the point is, but I got myself back together. I got on the phone with
Yes.
you guys, and I said regroup.
Yes, you
but
did.
let me
You
say
did.
this: that life forced this on me. And when I tell you, you do not want life to force anything on you. I'm hard-headed. I'm a Taurus the bull. So life was like,
Wow.
oh, we're going to tell you. So life will give you like it's like, I'd say life is like a highway. I want to get teared up. It'll give you that small sign, get off the exit. And then it'll give you, it's all blinking, then a neon sign, and then you're going to have a car accident. And then you're going to have a car accident. And then that car accident, some people can come back from, and some people can't.
Right.
Gian, that message gets
Right.
louder and louder
Yeah.
and more
Right.
painful and
Yeah,
more painful until you listen.
And then sometimes, listen, you can't come back. Some people just leave this earth.
So you know what I love about
or
this?
whatever,
We talked on all these previous episodes about how strong we are as leaders and business women. I'm sorry, and we are. We're strong, and we go through some stuff, and life does happen for us, and we need a place to put this.
The safe place,
We
the
need the
silence,
safe
the
place.
opportunity to
And we need
reflect.
each other. You got to understand, a short-term hurt to a sister or a friend is not worth it, because it's such long-term love and care and support that we give to each other. I refuse to hurt you. I refuse to hurt you. I refuse to hurt you, because I'd rather have the long-term love and support with you that I need to. You need it, and I need it.
But you need this vulnerability we're having now, because that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we just want to be strong, and so you need the outlet. That's why we all crying, because you need the outlet. Because some of us we don't have the outlet. So this is our outlet. We're going to leave here feeling power, because you sometimes can't show the weakness, because you're the mom, and you're the wife, and you're the co-worker,
business
and
owner.
you're the business
You're the
owner, whatever you are.
brand.
You're the brand. You're the leader of the household on so many levels, even if you have a mate.
You
And some of
carry it all,
some
Jay.
of us have mates, and they don't have mates, right? Like
Right.
some women are living in
Exactly.
relationships that they are in the same situation we are in, right? Like I have friends who I'm like, is your husband even there? Like, and some people have great spouses. I'm not saying it, but it's a lot being a woman in today's society, right?
Yes.
It is a lot, and we need to be okay with that. We need to accept that and own that, and not be ashamed of these moments, because this is human. Because if not, you will break. And life, sometimes, like I said, if life breaks you, it is hard.
It's not on your terms.
It's not on your terms at all. So if anyone gets this from this conversation, regroup, revalue, get your priorities straight in life, and take care of you and your family.
I'm going to tell you something that y'all probably don't know this, but when I was going through all the craziness and running to multiple companies and, being a contractor, doing this, all the stuff that I was doing, having the kids, deciding the best schools for the kids, doing college visits and coming up with the money, because, how I'm going to pay it and all this other stuff, making deals. Do I get this investment? Do I put the money over here? All of these things that I was doing. 120/80 was my blood pressure. You know what my blood pressure was this summer? 200 and something over something. So I had been diagnosed with high blood pressure because of I didn't take care of myself then. But now, I don't have all the craziness, I have this internal stuff that's happening. And going through a divorce is not easy.
Even the easiest divorce. Even the easiest divorce.
And mine was super easy. Mine, it happened in like 2 weeks, literally.
Wow.
So, but the process to get to that, to actually file. And you said something, Julie. You said, this is when you need your friends the most. Where are they? And you were there every day. I know you're busy, but you made sure you checked on me every day. Every day. And that goes a long ways.
And
It
life,
really
and
does.
life, and that's so beautiful about life. It will, when you're ready, it will show you everything you need to know. And now, so you got to be ready though, because you
Exactly.
you got to be in acceptance, and you got to understand it's not going to be always pretty, but the other side is beautiful. Because sometimes life, when you're going, and you're just whatever going on, you're not stopping to see what's really around me.
So yeah,
Sometimes we have to hold our heads up.
yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Walk
say
out
it,
in front of everybody.
Exactly.
say it,
When you don't want to.
say
When you
it,
don't, yes.
say it. Go.
This is what this is all about. This is what the Purse Chronicles is about.
It
is about talking about the hard things. Coming together as women, supporting each other, being in a safe environment where it's okay to talk. And it's okay to cry, and it's okay to have the silence.
An honest conversation.
We had an event, and Julie and I just organically, naturally, just got close to each other, whatever. And y'all know I don't pay attention. Y'all know y'all witness some things even on Purse Chronicles. I don't pay attention to something. So I just happened to see that Julie was behind in the back, and I went back there. And I went back there only to hug you. And I was there and hold you and say, you got this. You got it. That's all I wanted to give you. That's it. And you got that from me, and you felt it. And every time. And that's what you give that to me. And I promise you, if I see, I may not pay attention to but I will look for you, see if you will. I will. I'm going to look into your eyes and see if you could. What do you need from me?
And it's
Because I
encouragement.
always say, I'm coming. I'll be, you say something, I'm coming. I'll be there.
She might be late, but she'll be
I'll be
there.
a little late.
It's about encouraging. And so what I
Yes.
will leave with this is, I have no stone for anyone. I have no judgment because I don't
Me
know.
either.
I don't know what you have been
Me
through
either.
in your life. So I don't have a judgment. So I
Even
feel like
that
I
day.
look and say whatever's going on in that person's life, that's their journey,
That's
and I
right.
wish them the best.
That's right.
And
Me
that's what
too.
you have to be. And I have no judgment.
I have
because
no judgment.
So that's why I'm here today, because I feel like you don't know who somebody is. You don't know what they're going through. So then tearing them down, figure out how you can help. Instead of
Yes.
saying anything negative about our organization or anybody, give us a solution.
That's right.
You know,
Or a
be
suggestion.
positive. A suggestion, like, what are
That's
you
right.
bringing positive? You don't know the story, and so that's what I'm
right.
here to say. Is like empower each other. We are all sitting here in tears because we are all going through something, and that's how women. A lot of women are. We just need to be there for each other and be supportive and not tear each other down and figure out how we can help each other.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what? I love y'all.
Okay, we might not air.
So
if y'all hear this,
crybabies.
Look what Julie has done for us yet again. You brought together 3,300 women
Yes.
in our area. You brought the four of us together. And there's this saying about your friend that's strong, your friend
Yeah.
that's the leader, your friend that's stoic, your friend that's always standing up and has it together. Call
Yeah.
and check on her.
That's right.
yeah.
Because she's
That's right.
she's keeping it together somehow.
And find your own
Yes.
silence, whatever
Yes.
that means
Find your
for you.
silence.
Yes.
Yes.
And I can't thank y'all enough.
This was
Beautiful.
this was
This
this was
was
definitely
like
this
therapy,
was-
right?
and we all
therapy
needed
that we
it.
need.
Yes.
Tune in again.
Tune in.
Again.
That's right.
Chronicles.
We're gonna try to follow up on
What's
this
gonna
one.
happen in the next
I
Purse
don't want that off.
I love y'all.
Come back. Come back for the love.
Thank you.
Purse Chronicles.
the-
Purse Chronicles. Woo-hoo. I love it.